Welcome, one and all, to the Ferret and Raccoon podcast, episode 201. I'm the Indigenous Owl.
I'm the Angry Raccoon, bringing you the last podcast of September 2022. And yeah, as I say on almost every podcast, it's been quite an interesting couple of weeks and days in the world.
Yep.
But we've got a few things to talk about on this episode, as I'm sure you guys can hear. Owl is back.
Yep, I'm back again.
Continuing your streak to be on every single episode, if I remember correctly, from now on.
Basically, I'm on every episode now.
Basically. Yeah, so it's good to have you back. Obviously, you were on our celebratory episode 200.
Yeah, that episode was too funny.
Yes, that was certainly a highlight of 2022.
Yeah.
Not the editing part, because as I said to Ace a little while ago, I was mainly editing his laughter to make sure it wasn't too loud, because he laughs quite loud, I guess if you hadn't heard. But definitely go check the episode out if you want. It took me a good couple hours to hopefully get it in I was about to say a listenable state, but that would imply that we did a bad job. But a state that doesn't blow your eardrums out. Because Let me put it this way, I had to take several breaks of not listening to audio while editing the episode. Because obviously I don't remember how the episode went, so obviously when Ferret or Ace just laughs, I have to take the headphones off. But that's enough about episode 200. Owl, since then, what have you been up to?
Pretty much same as always, back and forth of work. But lately I've been playing more games as well. I've been jumping on I actually jumped back on Tekken 3 the other day because I thought, why not?
Good reason, as we're about to find out.
Yeah, good reason. But yeah, I thought, you know what, I was on the PS2, I thought, I went for my game wallet and I was like, you know what, let me just go, I was just scrambling for the wallet and I was like, oh, you know what, I'm going to play some Tekken 3. I'm feeling Tekken 3. I'm going to train myself up again. I'm feeling for it. Because I lost, when I was saying a few podcasts back, I kind of lost my motivation with gaming in general. But then I was like, playing fighting games, and I'm like, I kind of want to get back into it again. But it's just really tricky finding the time. Obviously, working full time, it's really hard.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah. But other than that, it's pretty much, that's it really for my life updates. What about you?
Fair enough. I mean, since that previous podcast, editing it, getting out the way, that was one of the main things I did. And I'm also kind of still in that, it's not really a mood, but kind of in that mentality of just archiving as many things as I can. It sounds quite paranoia based, but I just don't really like the idea of certain shows that are being removed and not being appreciated, not being available. So I'm kind of making them available for myself, but if anyone needs them, they can grab them. So for example, if you needed a show or found out about a show that is no longer on any streaming service, I can very easily give you the files. So you can go and enjoy and spread the good word of this great show that a stupid corporation cancelled and removed. But other than that, one show I did watch quite recently, which it just came out of nowhere, was, well, not actually nowhere, I'll explain real quick, is the TV series for Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. It was originally meant to air September 12th, and then September 12th rolled by and it just got delayed. They just said it's delayed. There was no real reason why. My speculation was that because the show is technically a UK exclusive. So I think maybe Channel 4, the creators, tried to work something out, and maybe they did. Because later on they then said, oh, it's going to air September 30th. To which the episodes then went and aired episode 23rd. So I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if they just worked it out and just went, screw it, people can have it, or whatever. But the moment those episodes went out, I watched them. And I have to say, yes, highly recommending this series. They've done a fantastic job kind of taking, a bunch of very short, weird, surrealist horror comedy, shorts from, I guess you could say, a YouTube era, and actually fleshing them out into 23 long episodes. And it does work. I think the fact that the episodes are so long does really work in the series' benefit, as there's a lot more time to really just let the show be a show, more of like the characters, the chemistry, kind of more of a narrative. And I think they've done a really good job kind of making it feel more of a story and kind of expand on things, while at the same time possibly going into more questions, because obviously the big question is what the hell was going on with the series. And the series does kind of hint at that, but it only gives you a little bit. I'm sure the fan-free videos are going to be popping up real soon over the next couple of weeks of people speculating as to what's going on. But overall, a fantastic series. Like, they really nailed it. Not that they wouldn't, because clearly these guys, given what they've made before, are professionals. I mean, most people don't even know that they even did an episode for The Amazing World of Gumball.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, same team. They did an episode for that series, and it's just really good because it plays into the weirdness of The Amazing World of Gumball, how they both, Gumball and Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, both changed their visual styles and kind of used it in very creative ways. So it kind of makes sense that they come together and collab on a project, because clearly, I'd imagine the Amazing World of Gumball team saw this and went, we got to do that. But yeah, a fantastic series. I think what this series does really well is it kind of really commentates and expands on the topics that each episode did before. And it really does this in an interesting way where, how should I put it? It really takes advantage of it being a bigger platform, a bigger series, and kind of tells bigger stories and kind of asks more questions and adds more commentary. A good example is the very joyously titled second episode called Death, where the duck character basically puts his paper down and says, well, I'm dead. To which they're like, what? And he's like, yeah, it says in the paper, I'm dead. So the whole episode focuses on the fact that he's dead and what happens when you die. But then the episode then expands to talk about, well, what do you do once they're dead? Like, do you replace them? Is it right to want them back?
Yeah.
Like, what does the person who's dead do? You know, stuff like that, which is very existential, very horror-ish, but is legitimately interesting, especially how they handle it. Because this episode does get quite worrying and quite serious at points, but still kind of keeps that weird tone. And that's just one example of the series really excelling. And, you know, obviously the animation and the puppetry and, you know, everything else is fantastic. But yeah, highly recommend this series. I know America can't really watch it right now, but if you are watching it elsewhere, please try and watch it legally, because even if this show, I'm messing up my words here. So even if you don't like the show, please watch it if you're in the UK, because if this show does well, Channel 4 and other people, they will give it a second season, or they will most likely greenlight something you do like that's original and creative, because this industry really needs original and fresh ideas, because it's quite stagnated right now. And Channel 4 and Adult Swim and Cartoon Network are some of the best people putting out the most original things right now. So please go and support this series however you can, even if you just go and follow the creators on Twitter.
Exactly.
Just go shout about the show, basically. But
spread the word, people. Spread the word.
Pretty much. And I think, like I said, I would, episode 6, which is titled Electricity, might be one of my favorite things I've seen this year. Like, period. Like, one of the best things released this year. You have to watch the series to understand why. And, please watch the episodes in order. There's a reason why. Let's move on to news stories and topics. So, we had several conventions, showcases, things happen over the last 2 weeks. It was a lot to take on board, and we're not going to talk about everything because, this podcast would be 3 hours of just us going, yeah, it's all right, you know, several times, because some of the stuff is just, meh, exactly. So we'll quickly kind of do the Nintendo Direct, which was mostly about farming games. For some reason, they showcased way too many games with farming mechanics, even to the point of YouTuber Video Game Donkey and other people just referencing the fact that it was more like the farming direct or whatever.
Right.
But the first trailer we got, Pikmin 4, got confirmed. Clean and simple. This is how you announce another entry in one of the most underrated game series of all time, in my opinion. I'm glad it's a sequel rather than a remake or a re-release of the third game, which was on the Wii U, because everything gets ported from the Wii U to the Switch.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think fans and the world just needs more Pikmin. Glad to see it. Yeah. Can't wait to play it.
How long ago was like the previous game? Well, Pikmin 3.
Maybe about 4 years, I'm going to say.
4 years.
I can't quite remember. I know that one was on the Switch, and then the previous two were on GameCube, and then I think they have a port on Wii. So yeah, there was a big gap between 2 and 3. But luckily, Nintendo obviously saw the success and the hype of the third game after taking that risk. And then obviously went, well, people want more. Yeah. And why not put it on the Switch? I mean, you've got the hardware. Millions of people have it. Why not? Next trailer we'll talk about, very brief one, probably the shortest trailer we have in the description and download link. And that is going to be for Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, the Rayman DLC. This is probably the most exciting thing Ubisoft has done since Rayman Legends. And speaking of, this was a really clever trailer just to show off, like, Rayman still exists. Yeah. Ubisoft remembers, I guess. And I know we don't really see him, but I really do love his, like, 3D redesign. like how his hair looks like it's like kind of in clumps, but you can kind of see like parts of his hair.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And like, I never really noticed that his hair, how it looks, is like rabbit ears.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I've never noticed that. I'd imagine that's the reason why the Rabbids became a thing, but yeah, I do wonder if this DLC is going to be like, oh look, you can add Rayman to your party and he has unique moves, or is it going to be, let's travel to an unknown world and oh, here's Rayman and he needs help. He needs our help finding Glowbox.
Yeah.
I wonder what it's gonna be, but regardless, I really hope this is like a precursor to a new game.
Yeah, likewise as well. I hope they do make a new game.
Because I know me and you, we are pretty big fans of Rayman.
Yeah, I can't remember, what was your favorite Rayman game?
It still is Legends.
Legends, okay.
I love Legends, but I also do really like 3 Hoodlum's
Yeah,
Revenge?
oh yeah, 3. Yeah, Hoodlum Havoc, yeah.
Oh, Havoc. I don't know why I said Revenge.
That's right.
Yeah, that was one of those games I played as a child and was like, what the hell am I doing? But it wasn't until later on where I actually got the first Rayman games I actually played with the GBA ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
I've got those ones, and those were interesting games.
I think my first Rayman game was Rayman Rush. That was my first Rayman game.
Yeah, it's good, and I know most people have very big issues with Rayman 1 because it's like impossible.
Yeah, we don't talk about that game.
Start with Rayman 2 or 3.
Yeah, just skip Rayman 1.
You're going to have a bad time if you play Rayman 1.
Yeah,
because people obviously make the joke of, oh, this game's like Dark Souls. Yeah, that comment will become apparent when you play Rayman 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Any other thoughts on the fact that Rayman is hopefully, I'm going to say hopefully, not even hopefully, better
coming back. No, I'm just I can appreciate that they actually added like a little cameo appearance of his hair. His hair at the bottom. Yeah, so I hope they do make a new game as well. And if they're gonna, I feel like they're gonna, if they do make a new game, they're gonna probably stick to like it being 2D. I mean, it would be nice if they go 3D again, but I reckon they're gonna go like, the whole, make it look like a bit like Legends. Like
Rayman 4 on PS5, like that would be awesome.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of a, something like, although they don't play the same, something like Crash 4, like Rayman. Like, just take inspiration from that. That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
Just make it like the biggest game. And I think there's kind of is like a little bit of a resurgent with like these platformer characters and that. Like, obviously Crash came back. Everyone is still waiting. What's going to happen with Spyro 4? It's rumored. It's back and forth. I mean, I'm just going to say this right now. Once again, Spyro 4 better happen. Because, come on now, you can't remaster the original 3 games and just be like, yep, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Pack up shop. I understand that Activision got bought out by Microsoft, but come on. I think Spyro 4 has pretty much been confirmed, but it's just hasn't been released. But yeah, hopefully, no, not hopefully, once again.
It better.
Better return. Next trailer we have, another quick one. We have Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. This is a kind of announcement trailer in that, this game, I think it's the 4th or 5th Fatal Frame game, is kind of going to be put on, I think it's PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, and Switch, at least everything that's currently
good.
right
That's
now.
Really good.
Boy, does this game have a troubled history. The reason why I bring this up is because originally this was a Japanese exclusive. I think it was on the Wii or Wii U, didn't get released. Nintendo wouldn't release it apparently because Tecmo or whoever, it wasn't technically sound. It was a bit glitchy, and there was a weird back and forth where Nintendo was like, oh, you need to speak to them about it, and then you ask them, and they were, no, you need to speak to Nintendo about it. Eventually got released over here, but on the Wii U. So of course no one bought it because it was the Wii U. So now, at some point, they've just kind of gone, oh yeah, just put it on all the current platforms. So I'm glad that everyone now has the option to go play this game, because I actually think it's a pretty good sequel. I hope they fix some of the issues and update certain graphics and stuff like that, but this is a really fun game. It's got like a weird collectible in that you have to capture specific ghosts in certain areas, and that's like the collectible and like weird creepy dolls. But I'd highly recommend that game, and I look forward to picking it up and playing it. Hopefully the rest of them get ported over here, because some of them are actually pretty good. I know, take photos of ghosts and it gets, jump scare. It's not really that jump scare compared to some other games of today's time. But I believe you have the next trailer to talk about.
Yeah, Rise of the Ronin. So I remember I watched this during the State of Play, and the atmosphere looks really stunning. I can't lie. I didn't actually like when I was watching it. I thought, okay, this is gonna be. I felt like it was gonna be more of a story-based game. But then when I found out it was an RPG, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. It didn't really give off that vibe during the trailer. I felt like.
I think they were maybe trying to like promote more gameplay over anything else.
Perhaps, yeah. But a lot of people are comparing it to like maybe the new Dark Souls or Elden Ring. So who knows?
I don't know where they're getting that comparison from.
I don't know, but that's what people are saying about the game. But other than that, I mean, I probably won't pick it up because I'm not really a big RPG person anyway, so I probably won't. But the game does look like visually stunning anyway.
Oh yeah. Like I mean, it combines like traditional like aesthetic with like a really interesting like style. Like there is like a flair there. It doesn't just feel like, you know, we wanted to make the most accurate like, you know, 19th century Japan. It feels like they've kind of taken a few creative liberties and stuff like that. Which is cool. And like mainly the combat, which looks really smooth for the most part. Like, you know, the way you just switch from sword to gun, just really, really good. And I mean, it's an open world game, so of course you get like a paraglider because every open world game has to have you gliding in some sense. It's kind of getting boring now. The last Zelda game did it, and now everyone does it now.
Yeah, that's actually true.
I do love the look of the air combos. That's something I'm really excited for. It's Team Ninja, so that's kind of a given, but hopefully you can actually juggle with guns. I'd love to see some like Devil May Cry stuff. You know,
you can air juggle with guns in that game.
Yeah, in most of the Devil May Cry games.
Oh, I didn't know.
Like, because obviously Dante has unlimited ammo.
Oh,
so if you get an enemy in the air, you can just hold them there. Granted, your ranking goes down, but it's just more like a extension combo-ish kind of thing.
Oh yeah, you can do the same thing in Gekido as well. People who know what Gekido is, shout me.
At
Al. At Indigenous Al.
But yeah, really looking forward to this. The one thing I will say is that it does look a lot like Ghost of Tsushima, and I'd imagine that's probably the reason why it got greenlit. Except it looks a lot more fun.
Interesting.
I would say. But next trailer we have is Like a Dragon, Ishin? I believe that's how you say
Ishin,
it.
yeah.
This is a remake of, I believe, a 2004 or 2014 game, kind of within the Yakuza series. It's another one of the spin-off games, because a lot of the characters from the Yakuza franchise are here, but it's obviously... I was about to say Endo period.
Edo? I think it's
Edo or Endo period. Old Japan.
Old Japan.
Kind of like a what if kind of story. Like it's actually a narrative I really like, when they tell a story back in the time, but they use the characters you know of. I think
that's really cool.
That's something I actually really like, and I wish more people would do that. But yeah, no, this game looks, you know, like Ghost of Tsushima except fun.
Yeah.
I don't know why Sony is like really pimping the samurai games all of a sudden.
Yeah, it was like a whole... They came out all in a row as well, like bit by bit.
It's interesting. I don't know. That's the new thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But you know,
cool,
I mean, no one else is doing it, so why not?
Yeah, exactly.
This trailer was all kinds of awesome, I think. You know, as they really want you to feel like a badass playing this game.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually true.
And those gun combos are proof. Just the way he's just like fucking that swift, just oh my god. Like, damn, like, it's just, like, chaotic, and, like, just how, like, a good hack and slasher should be.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, you know, having it fast as well, just, like, you know, just no waste time, take these guys out, slash them, shoot them, done, move on to the next fight. Just much like what the Yakuza franchise is somewhat known for the most part.
It's funny, actually, I was getting, like, I was getting kind of, like, No More Hero vibes.
Oh, yeah,
For some odd reason, I don't know why, it was just, like, kind of reminding me, because I remember seeing you and Obsidian playing it all the time as well. Yeah, you guys have always played that.
Oh yeah, it was like all about that Suda 51. I mean, it's funny as well because like you see that like very like serious cinematic cutscene which like sets the tone for like this you know, once again samurai, you know, traditional period piece like thing, you know, then cut to man fighting tiger, and it's like, oh okay, it's a video game, because Yakuza does not care. I don't even know what's going on with that tiger. Just man is just being attacked and he's just shoving meat in someone's face, and it's just like, yeah, this looks like a video game. This is like fun. Yeah, no, I'm really excited for this game, and hopefully it's hopefully it's as fun as the trailer makes it out to be.
Exactly, yeah.
But got to talk about the big one now, which I know you're going to be introducing.
Ooh. Tekken fucking 8. It's here. It's finally here. So, I remember, like, actually, I'll go into a bit of backstory with it. So, I was watching State of Play, and I was like, the trailer played, and I was like, oh, it's funny because I was like, oh, a robot head. Oh, is it Transformers? And then after I hear Jin's voice, I was like, oh, shit, it's Tekken 8! I was like, just like shouting and everything. I was like, oh! But yeah, no, it was cool. Like, it's just, I guess, like a bit of dialogue between Jin and Kazuya, you know, father and son, that kind of thing. And then just them mainly, so it just kind of showed us a bit of gameplay and stuff. I mean, it looks great, but it's funny. Oddly enough, like Kazuya and Jin both look really thin. I don't know. I found that they didn't look as dense as they do in like Tekken 7 or previous games for some odd reason. They look really thin.
I don't know. I think I'm going to disagree with that because although this is going to sound really questionable and weird, but I was just like, damn, their pecs are huge. Like I was legit like, damn, these almost bordering on like female breasts kind of stuff. I was like, I wasn't really looking at that. I mean, you know why you may think that? Do you remember in the trailer where, like, I think it was Kazuma or whoever, like, they went for the strike and you see him, like, flex his muscles?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's going to be a mechanic where, like, you get stronger, like, visually.
Maybe, yeah, that could be.
You know, like, you just, like, because obviously they both got, like, the what's the curse called?
Oh, the Devil Gene.
Devil Gene. Maybe that's, like, an aesthetic where, like, they're physically going to look, like, thicker and bigger to some extent.
That's a good point, actually.
That might be, but I didn't think they looked that skinny.
I just thought, no, they didn't look super skinny, but like it looked just a bit smaller than usual.
Because I was about to say they're clearly feeling the recession.
But yeah, no, other than that, but yeah, I'm really hyped for the game. But then after something broke my heart at the end, and I saw not Tekken. So when I saw PS5 only, I was like, oh.
I think that's a for now thing.
I hope so, because.
I mean, are you talking more about, like, it not being on PS4?
Yeah, like, I thought it... Because it looked like it was just like, oh, yeah, it probably could be just for PS5. And I'm like, oh, no. It's not I hope... Hopefully they do.
It's hard to say because just recently, the Resident Evil 4 remake, they're going to do a port on PS4. So I would imagine they probably can. If there's enough interest and fan cry, they might give PS4 a port. Because obviously Capcom is very well aware of the Resident Evil fans, and I think at some point they went, oh, might as well do a PS4. Yeah. Because, oh dear, I guess we'll make more money. You know, it's not going to cost a lot of money to actually get a slightly less inferior version. I know that sounds bad, but a less impressive version on the PS4. But maybe this was just like Sony saying, really push the PS5. Like, this is what the PS5 is going to look like. Yeah. So, fingers crossed. But yeah, no, classic setup. The boys, fighting it out. Although this is like they fought so many times before, this one felt epic. Because you've got like that, cinematic scene. It feels like a post-apocalyptic with just shit flying over in the background and like all those cutaways as well.
One thing I want to say about Tekken 8 that I really, really, really hope that Jun makes a return.
Jun, yeah.
Yeah, I really hope she does in the story. But that's. I pray she comes back in the game.
Given how the director has been about like characters and content, I don't see him just going no.
Yeah, because people saying, oh yeah, she's dead, but it's like, no, she's not dead.
No, she's not. Spoilers. But here's the thing: there is no excuse for them not to have every character in this game. Yeah. Not immediately, but there is no excuse for them not to be like they did with Tekken Tag and just be like, oh yeah, we'll add all those characters in later.
Yeah.
Which is fine because I know the creator, he's not about bullshit DLC, which is awesome, which is why I like Tekken.
Yeah.
But personally for me, I was super happy to see this because it kind of got teased low-key at Evo.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because obviously there was that like legacy kind of trailer and then you see that one cutscene at the end and people were like, that's not from a game. Is that Tekken 8?
It's like Kazuya's cheeky smile, and I was like, I like that.
Because people were low key like, that's not from any game. People were like, that's brand new animation. So obviously, like, did it just get confirmed? But obviously, they were like really teasing it and that, which is really cool.
Nice. I like that.
I did too, because it didn't feel right ending it on 7.
No,
it didn't.
Yeah, and it's cliffhanger in the story as well. Couldn't end it there.
Didn't feel right. The only issue I have, which maybe it's kind of like a pseudo thing and not anything bad, is that I really hope, so we see all those like cutaways, those scenes where like they're kind of like slow motion about to like hit each other and stuff like that. Those are great, those are fantastic. I think they really are cool. I hope that they don't take away from the fight. To have like a really intense fast battle and then just be like, oh, slow-mo again, yeah,
that happened quite a bit in Tekken 7 actually, which I didn't enjoy.
If anything, make that an option.
Yeah,
that can
take
be
it
turned
out.
off in the menu.
That would be cool.
But yeah, no, obviously we're hyped.
Yeah.
Cannot wait. Next trailer we have kind of somewhat moving away from video games, but not really. We've got Sonic Prime. This is the Netflix series that they've been teasing for a while. And yeah, they finally showed off a trailer. And to be honest, I feel like they played their hand too early showing off Shadow. Like, why would you just immediately show him? He's he's pretty much the most popular character, and he's just getting his ass kicked in the trailer. Not that I really care about that, but just like, okay, I guess he's confirmed. You'd want to build up to someone like Shadow. You'd want to. He should be one of the main big bads, but okay. Sonic looks alright in this. Like, his redesign is okay, but there's something off with that animation. Like, it's way too stiff in my opinion. Like, especially for a show about a character that moves really fast. I'm not really feeling the speed in this show. Granted, shows like Sonic Boom were not always about speed, and they were very like all jokey, fun, wacky stuff. But here's the thing: when you're showing the background of Green Hill Zone and you're like, it's Sonic, he moves fast and he's moving relatively slow, you may have messed up. Because like, and the world itself is rather lifeless in my opinion. Like, I wasn't getting anything. Like, the games and even Sonic Boom had like way more detailed backgrounds. So this is not a good first impression. Not that I was really super keen on the show, but like, I'm just looking at this and I'm like, oh, I know this sounds bad. I'm like, oh, is this show for babies? Like, is this show just for little children who just watched Sonic 2 and was like, oh, I'm Sonic, yeah. It doesn't look that great, but then again, Sonic Boom didn't look that great, but that turned out to be a good show, so
who knows?
We'll see. Any comments on this extremely short trailer?
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Yeah. The edgelord himself. Moving on, we're going to get a bit dark for a little bit, and that is going to be for most anticipated film for a long time, because this film's been in the works since 2020, and Netflix have been teasing it for about a year, just showing off stupid clips. I don't know what they were doing with the marketing. Just showing off random clips out with no context. Just being like, yeah, Wendell and Wild. And I'm just like, where's the trailer? And they're like, yeah, Wendell and Wild. But yeah, no, we're talking about Wendell and Wild, the official teaser trailer. Finally. Been waiting for this for so long, for the master himself to return. Henry Selick. This is the guy behind The Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, Coraline. He took a break after Coraline. That came out in 2009.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, Coraline came out in 2009.
Wow, it doesn't feel like it did.
Does not. It feel like it came out like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
But have you seen Coraline?
No, I never watched it.
Oh, that's what we're doing after this recording's done. My opinion, Coraline is up there with one of the best animated films ever. And yeah, Henry Selick himself is returning to stop motion animation. And I mean, Key and Peele as mischievous demons, that's just perfect casting right there. Like, give them both the Oscar for best performance right now. Like, I don't know how they're going to share it. They can cut it in half like the director of Parasite, but you know, yeah, no, give them both the Oscar for best performance, because yeah, no, why would you not? I've got a few things to say about it. Al, any thoughts on this trailer?
Yeah, it looks okay. I mean, but yeah, it looks alright. I mean, I'm glad that Key and Peele's like voice actors in it and stuff, but yeah, it's nothing that I'm like too hyped for, so nah.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this, because I mean, there's a lot to really like. I know it's just a trailer, but there's a lot of things to like quickly go over. Like the main character Kat, she's very unique, you know, not your average character. She's very believable in that she's clearly going to be making, you know, mistakes and given a situation. Or obviously, I don't know all the details, but like the sheer creativity in this trailer is like through the roof. Like at times, I don't even know what I'm looking at, but in a good way. Like you know, there's real imagination with this trailer, and it feels like it's going to go for more of like a comedically dark tone to some extent. Although people seemingly are killed in this trailer, so we'll see what happens. And Henry's films are quite dark, even when you think about it. Which is great, because I feel like you can't really be pussyfooting around when it comes to stuff like that, because children can handle dark themes of just, you know, losing your parents, and there's demons literally bringing people back from the dead and stuff like that. And also I think the lighting deserves some extra attention, because like the color changes in that, you know, the greens and the purples, like, really, you know, kind of generically but in a fun way, kind of like set that spooky scary tone, which is good. I'm super excited for this film. This is like my second most anticipated film of the year, so I cannot wait. I just want to see that art book and the making of, and see how they did all the amazing practical effects, because we didn't even mention it's stop motion.
Yeah, that's true actually, yeah.
Which is not easy to do. Next trailer I believe you have.
Oh yeah, I actually forgot the name of the
Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night. Yeah, no, when I watched this, I thought, I didn't even, like, when I saw the Disney logo, I was like, oh, this is Disney? I was like, okay, this seems really dark for Disney, but, you know, obviously they're going through, like, more mature shows, I guess, so I guess, you know, some change now. Yeah, it looks, I mean, I was actually surprised to see another werewolf show being thing, because that's quite, like, I don't really see werewolf movies anymore, that's not really a thing anymore. Like, usually, you know, like, I remember, like, I'm trying to think, well, I can't remember the last werewolf film I watched, I think it might have been, Wolfman, that came out back in, like, 2012.
Yeah, I was going to think of like that awful Teen Wolf show.
Oh yeah, Teen Wolf. Yeah, I know.
Where it was not about werewolves, and it just got stupid.
But yeah, no, the show looks right. Again, it kind of gave me like Wolfman vibes. I was thinking, oh, what's the werewolf gonna look like? But then kind of like when they showed like a few like clips of it, I thought, okay, they're gonna kind of go with like the old kind of fashion. Like it's like a wolf man, not like an actual werewolf. So you can actually see
it
like
seems,
this. So the show looks. I mean, it looks okay, but other than that, not too hyped for it. But... Yeah,
I mean, ignoring like the slightly overdone, like campy retro aesthetic, I the one thing I'm really taking away from this trailer is like it's incredibly well shot. I think, like there are some really stunning visuals and scenes and stuff like that in the trailer. Like particularly like that one scene at the end of the trailer where like the lady character is just like screaming. You can see like the silhouette of like the werewolf changing. I thought that was really well done because obviously you don't know what the hell's going on there. And I mean, it's always good to see Marvel do something interesting because this is a Marvel film. Like this is gonna have some kind of superhero tie-in. But the main thing I'm interested in is 2 words: Man-Thing. Because we do see that character in the trailer for like a couple of seconds, and I was like, really? You're bringing Man-Thing into this? Now I know some crazy, messed up, supernatural, paranormal stuff is happening if he's involved. But I'm excited to figure out what the hell is going on with Man-Thing. I really hope they don't do something stupid like, oh, there he is, now he's dead. Never going to do anything with him again, which they've done in the past. But then again, if you know what Man-Thing looks like, it might be quite hard to make a blockbuster film with someone who looks as disgusting as him. But last trailer, were you going to introduce this one or not? I can't remember.
Secret Invasion it was, wasn't it?
Secret Invasion, another TV show.
Yeah, series. To be like, I can't even lie with you guys. I kind of just switched off when I watched the trailer. I didn't know what the hell was going on. The only thing that got me was the ending where like the actual title came up and like the little glass eye, and I thought that was cool. But the rest of it, I didn't know what was going on. I'm so
To be fair, that was one of the best parts of the trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know who did the typography, but A star.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I have no idea what's going on in this trailer because I do not keep up with the Marvel stuff. But an espionage Marvel series, that does sound great. I'm all for that. I think that's a cool idea. Once again, it is nice to see Marvel do something interesting that isn't just the superhero is going to kill the bad guy at the end. I'll give it that if it does, but given some of their other TV shows, it almost always falls back to being just a Marvel film of, oh no, it's the bad guy and he shot a laser in the sky and we got to stop him. We killed him. Let's never bring that villain back ever again. But the only other thing I have to say is 2 words: Olivia Colman. She's a fantastic actress. Weird to see her in a Marvel film, but I'm watching.
I didn't even realize she was in it.
Yeah, she's the lady you see.
Oh,
she's one of the best actresses. Yeah, just awesome to see her. I'll be watching the show just for her because.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you can watch it for an actress.
That's it. I think she's fantastic. So.
Why not?
Yeah. That's pretty much going to be the podcast. I know we've pretty much skimmed through like 3 showcases and events because we had the Nintendo Direct, the Sony State of Play, and Disney D23. It was a lot.
Yeah.
A lot to go through. But I think we talked about arguably the best, or if not the most interesting.
Yeah,
Because obviously not everything's to everyone's liking, but that's why we showcase several different things all over the place. But only thing left to talk about is going to be the video of the episode, and that is coming from Magdalena Bay. I always forget how you say their name. With Unconditional. They released an album last year, which is fantastic. I recommend go listening to it. But you can also go and listen to their deluxe version of the album that this song is on. Yeah, I haven't listened to the deluxe version, but it's always kind of cool when an artist can come out and kind of add to something really good, especially an album. That's the only good thing about music in the digital age. not with the silliness with like people editing songs and removing tracks. I don't like the fact that artists have the power to do that. I'm looking at you, Kanye. But yeah, no, hopefully you enjoy this video. It does tie back into the beginning of the podcast, and I won't say why. But yeah, Al, I want to thank you for being on this episode.
No problem.
And yeah, I guess there isn't anything else to say other than I was the Angry Raccoon.
I'm the Indigenous Al.
And we will see you on the next podcast.